I've got a pumpkin, and I've got this wonderful fall orange leaf. What do you call this? You know, I can't remember what we call this, right? A garland? I guess it's kind of a garland, but I thought we could either wrap it around in the lamp, or maybe we could wrap it around some of our plants outside, and we can get ready for the spooky season, because I know how much you like the spooky season, just like me. Oh, hello and welcome, boys and girls, to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I was just pulling out some decorations with Cosette because we are very excited. Fall is upon us, and it's one of our favorite seasons. Do you have a favorite season to celebrate? Fall is really special because you can have such wonderful decorations like pumpkins or leaves or apples, all kinds of fun things, right, Cosette? So, speaking of fun things, Cosette has for us actually 2 stories picked out today. Do you think we should go and read them together now? I think so too. You ready, Cosette? You know what to do. She's going to send us away on our magic carpet. Here we go. Rub your hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we go! And welcome, boys and girls, for another Enchanted Journeys story time. I thought it might be a lot of fun today if we had a couple of stories. They're a little on the shorter side, so we can definitely fit 2 in. I have 13 O'Clock by James Stimson to read to you, as well as Night of the Gargoyles by Eve Bunting. These are kind of fun, spooky season books, October, November, stuff like that. So I thought this might be fun. Which one should we start with? How about Night of the Gargoyles by Eve Bunting? I hope that you enjoy it. The gargoyles squat high on corners, staring into space, their empty eyes unblinking, till night comes. Then there is movement in the shadowy corners as the gargoyles creep on stubs of feet along the high ledges and pier, nearsighted, into rooms where mummies lie in boxes, long and thin as coffins, ribboned round with painted boats and figures dark as night. And gargoyle creep again to gape at suits of armor, shining, stiff, the helmets hinged on eyes as bloodless as their own. Or tired of viewing, fly, if they have gargoyle wings, straight up to lick the stars with long stone tongues, green pickled at the edges. Or land in sleeping trees, to swing on branches, da-dee-da, and feel the air move cool against their pock-marked stone. Then down they swoop to where a fountain splashes dark, the water spitting from a cherub's mouth. The gargoyle hunch around the rim and gargoyle grunt with friends from other corners who have come for company. They grunt of what they've seen and where they've been, how hot the corners when the sun is high, especially the ones beside the clock, how noisy too. They grump of summer passing and the rain that pours in torrents through their gaping lips and chokes their throats with autumn's leaves. And then those birds that come to rudely perch and leave behind their molted stains. They lap the water with their mossy tongues, splat each other with their claws, and boom those gargoyle laughs that rumble thick because there is no space inside their solid stone for laughs to somersault. A watchman hurries by and checks the sky for thunder. He's seen the gargoyles huddle there before, and once he told the man behind the frosted door and heard him snort in disbelief, "Gargoyles indeed, you're seeing things." So now he checks the sky to hide his fear. The gargoyles rasp their wings and put their thumbs behind their crumbling ears to show their scorn. They have no love of humans who have made them so and set them high on ledges where dark pigeons go. They stomp their feet and rumble laugh to see the watchman close his eyes and turn away. "Ach!" the gargoyles scream, and "Ach!" again, and spread their lips in mischief smiles. The watchman hunches down and hurries on. It's almost morning now, and so the gargoyles fly, or wingless crawl up walls as spiders do. They take their corners quietly and stare, their empty eyes unblinking, till night comes. The end. And what did you think of Night of the Gargoyles? It's a little creepy, a little spooky, isn't it? Especially that they don't like humans and we're picking on the poor watchmen. But I really like the illustrations in this book. And it's a good story for, like I said, spooky autumn time, October, November. Let's check out 13 O'Clock, shall we? And this one is by James Stimson. I hope that you enjoy it. It was the middle of the late hours, 12:59 to be precise. The winds howled outside and the old house creaked. The small girl thought it all quite nice. It was a fairly normal night in a fairly normal house, that is, with the exception of one thing. This old house had an old clock whose numbers counted not 12, but a spooky number 13. Tick, tock, tock, tick, tick, tock, tick. Gong! Atop the mysterious old clock, a hidden hatch flipped, and upon the freaky first of 13 O'Clock's tones, from it sprang a spriteful fright who would have seemed more at home with his name on a tombstone than clickety-clacking about at night. Knock, knock, shake, rattle, and rock. The second bell of 13 O'Clock binged. The skeleton with a skeleton key unlocked the odd clock's small door to free his monstrous friend, the Thing. Now, Thing may seem a strange name, but it's really not at all when the thing is explained, for a thing on its own may be some thing unknown, but known or not, it is still a thing. What is it? What is it? What makes the odd timer tick? What's that inside that swings and sways? Is it a peculiar pendulum with a precious pivot? A mistimed metronome? Nay, the old clock's clockworks wound up to tick-tock by means a bit more deranged, as bells 3 and 4 tolled, and the mechanism in question hopped off its swing and ran away. Dreadfully dissonant and traumatically toned clanked the next 3 of 13 O'Clock's chimes, and with them a slithery, a spidery, and a fluttery leathery all came looking for a place to hide. The uncommon count of the old timer continued, as the 8th tremendously tedious toll tinged. Then, one after another, in a line front to back, out floated 4 ghosts with frightening groans in their stomachs, who went straight to the kitchen for a midnight snack. The next horrifying chime, numbering 9, led to a curious clatter, numbering 10, the 10th tone to a horrendous number 11. And with each haunting cue there came another, more horticulturally hideous than the other, as a small pumpkin creep sister and her creep pumpkin kid brother were lent a lift to the ground by a ghoulish, yet happily helpful, garden ladder. "Number 12! Number 12!" chuckled one mischievous elf as he danced a spooky jig with glee. And then there, where any other clock would have naturally stopped, the weird ring rackety clock oddity did not, as it told a hollow and echoey and exceedingly eerie number. 13. Just the tock, tick of the clock's click and the sound of night, that's all. Sneaking sneakily, creeping creepily, to the small girl's room at the end of the hall. Open the door with a squeaky hinge. It's time for mischievous things, sneaky, sneaky, spooky, and freaky. On the count of none other than 13, the monstrous mischief begins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13! Chimed in an altogether unexpected voice. 13! Shrieked a shocked chorus of startled ghosts. The bat, the bug, and the other ghouls freaked in disastrous disarray. Daunt! Haunt! Dismay! They squeaked. Run away! Run away! The mixed-up scene went from monstrous mayhem to a stop as dead as a graveyard lot. When the ghoul crew realized that the uncanny culprit behind the bewildering plot was the prankster in pajamas, their small friend, not a fiend, a miniature bewitcher with a devilishly silly double-dealing scheme. Things things were less hexly than they were hoaxly, more ridiculously girly than they were ghostly. And even the muddled monsters found it all to have a fearfully funny ring, for the small girls entirely, if not at the very least mostly, much too giggly for gruesome ghastly, and far too friendly for a frightful anything. Late into the late hours, they all played by the green moonlight, as the winds howled outside as the old house creaked. It was a fairly normal night. In a fairly normal house, that is. If you're a ghost, a goblin, a beast, a bat, an it, or a thing. Or, for that matter, a small girl whose clock counts not 12, but a spooky, kooky 13. The end. And what did you think of 13 o'clock? It's a bit different, isn't it? A little silly. A clock counting to 13 with a little girl who has a home filled with ghosts and goblins and ghouls. That's kind of fun. And how about Night of the Gargoyles? Kind of spooky as well. And there was a watchman in this as well, so they kind of went together nicely. So, how would you like to go with me now and do some sort of craft or activity? A little fun, a little spooky maybe. I don't know what I've got up my sleeve, but I'll come up with something. You ready to go? All right, let's go together. In keeping with today's theme of kind of spooky things, I thought it might be fun if we made a skeleton. And this is a lot of fun to do and really easy. The first thing you're going to do is you're just going to take a white piece of paper and draw a skull on it and use some marker to shade it in, and then you're going to cut it out. So you can follow along with me now while I do that. You can draw your skull any way that you like. I'm going to give mine a couple of missing teeth, I think, just to give him a little more personality, make him kind of silly. This can be as unique as you are by however you decide to draw it. Now that I've finished drawing my skull, I have cut him out, and the next step is we're going to be gluing him onto a piece of dark paper or a black construction paper if you have it. And we're going to just use a glue stick to do this. Since it's paper, that should hold very nicely. Once you have your skull glued down onto the paper, the real fun begins. I'm using these cotton swabs to make bones. So the first part is we're going to make ribs, and you can make as many as you like. I think I'm going to make 4 ribs going down, and then one in the center as if it were a spine holding my skeleton together. So you can use white glue, like an Elmer's school glue, to do this step to hold your cotton swabs in place on your paper. And you're just going to design and layer them however you like. Once you have the center of your skeleton body in place, now you can start designing some arms and some legs. And again, there is no right or wrong for this. You can make your skeleton waving, maybe he's dancing. Just do it however you like. When we're finished putting our bones in place and gluing them down, we'll be adding in some details like some fingers and some feet. And we're going to use a glitter glue to make our joints stand out a little bit. I'm just taking my time and laying down my bones where I think I'd like them, and then I will use glue when I'm finished to secure them. I'm also cutting some additional cotton swab pieces, much smaller, so that I can make fingers and a couple of feet for my skeleton. You can do this as well. There is no measurement size. You just go ahead and eyeball how you like them to look and cut them and prepare them. Now that I have all my bones cut out, I am taking my time and putting some glue on the cotton swabs and pressing them into place. And then the final step will be to use my glitter glue to make those joints so they stand out. Here I'm just squeezing some of this black sparkly glitter glue in between each of the cotton swabs, so it looks like that's where the bones come together and form joints and allow my skeleton to kick up his feet and to throw up his hands. I think mine's doing a graveyard boogie. How does yours look? I finished gluing my joints and I realized that I put my head up a little bit too high from my body, so I'm going to cut an additional cotton swab and make a neck for my poor skeleton so he's not so disjointed. There, I think I'm just about finished. As you can see, my skeleton's doing a graveyard boogie woogie. I hope you enjoyed this project, but we're out of time. You ready to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette? All right, let's go. Okay, Cosette, I've got the garland. I'm gonna wrap it around our boxwood tree here. And then I think up in the attic I have some more boxes with more pumpkins, and I think I might even have some scarecrows, and I definitely have some fun Halloween decorations up there too. Welcome back, boys and girls. Thank you for joining Cosette and I for another Enchanted Journey story time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you didn't find 13 o'clock or the Night of the Gargoyles too spooky. But you know what? Sometimes being a little scared, little spooky, can be a lot of fun, can't it? Cosette and I are having a lot of fun pulling out our fall decorations and getting ready for the whole season of spooky, aren't we, Cosette? But not too spooky. We tend to like things that are also just pretty, like these pumpkins. Anyhow, we are out of time for today, so Cosette and I are gonna get back to decorating our lamp, and you go out and have some fun doing whatever it is you like to do, and keep using your imagination and creativity to have fun where you live. And come back to visit Cosette and me again really soon. Until we see you, take great care of yourselves, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.